What's up YouTube? It's me, Next Gen Slayer. We are playing some Napoleon Total War on the map Homestead. I am the defender and my opponent is Jack Dog Bob. He's the attacker. I did not know this at first, but he was the host. I knew that. But apparently he was new at this game. But I did not know that until after the game. He told me that he was new after the game. So yeah, but he was actually a pretty good opponent, and the battle was actually pretty fun. So I'm not going to spoil anything like the outcome of the battle or anything. So yeah, he was a good opponent for being only playing a few battles, but we're going to go over my army. I was the French, and we're going to count out my cavalry. I have one dragoon over here, lancers. I believe I have 3 other lancers, one lancer here. So yeah, I only have 3 cavalry in this battle, 2 lancers and 1 dragoon. I have 1 voltigeur here, 6th regiment. I'm not even gonna say, but those are my elites right there. Swiss foot is, I believe, a line. Fusilier, another lineman. And I'm going to be concentrating on this side of the field mostly. I'll leave a few troops over here just in case, and my general staff I'm going to move with the bulk of my troops. Here's a young guard. Those are some elites. And chasseurs, more chasseurs. Those are my line, I believe. No, those are lights, chasseurs. These are linemen. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line. Not how many skirmishers? I don't know. I'm just learning the symbols. That's how I'm counting them now. But yeah, we're gonna move up these soldiers right here. My line and my cavalry, my 6-pounder howitzer. Last time I said 6-inch. That wouldn't be much of a artillery if it was only 6-inch. But we're gonna move them up to here. Attempt to. My opponent is the British, so that's why I chose the French, just because the British and the French always rivals, as you know from world history class. So yeah, that's why I chose the French. But I do like the French in general too. That's not the only reason I chose the French, but I don't always choose the French. I like the Austrians. The Prussians are pretty cool, and if you saw my last battle, the Russians, which were my opponent, I do like the Russians too. I do not care for the Ottomans so much. Spain, Portugal, Sweden. I think Sweden's a faction you can play as. But yeah, my opponent's not doing much just yet. Possibly because he was new, like he told me. But he does have his riflemen. He is going to move them up. I'm not quite sure where he's going to try and move them up. But maybe, I think he's going to try and get to the hill once he saw me go into the hill. I don't know why I chose that unit to go. Maybe he wanted to get to this hill. I can't quite remember, but he was going to move them up somewhere. Anyways, that doesn't matter. We'll fast forward to this part. Basically, it's just getting my troops all set. As you can see, I have 2 linemen, 3 linemen over here moving, and now you can see a little bit more movement. I'm getting my elites moved up, so I'm gonna try and hold this little valley area here. Not much of a valley, but you know what I'm trying to get at. And along with my skirmisher unit, I did notice that he was moving up his dragoons, so I am going to also move up my dragoons in just a moment, and I'm gonna try and take this ridge up here. We'll see how that goes. But eventually, he starts charging, I believe. Yes, he does, right? Is he charging yet? No, he's still walking. Never mind. But yeah, this is when I charge up my cavalry. And I also had second thoughts. I'm going to move my voltigeurs right at the base of this. And I believe I am. Am I? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I will in just a moment. And I'm going to try and set up some stakes, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to try that last minute anyways. So I got these soldiers set up, and he's not doing much to try and take the hills or anything yet. He's got his light dragoons over here, his cavalry, which are moving up. They aren't going to do too much right just yet. He's got his rifles walking. I think he's going to take the woods and try and hide there, but we're going to go back to my right flank, which is his left. And so he's got a cavalry charge on my lancers, and my lancers are faster than his dragoons, but I had them walking originally, and so he's going to catch up. And this is where I wanted to put some pikes down, but that I'm not going to have enough time, so we're going to shoot them out and see what's going to go down. So yeah, my lancers did take a pretty big hit there by his dragoons, and his dragoons didn't take much of a hit. They're also killing my cavalry pretty bad, so props to him for that. Yeah, I believe I sent in my other cavalry unit. No, I didn't. I sent in one cavalry unit and the lancers that just ran away from him. They routed pretty easily. He chases after him with his dragoons, probably to make sure they don't come back. Not quite sure. Oh well, to get behind my flanks. That's probably why, which is smart. And so my unit here, I noticed that my soldiers are gone, and he's got his riflemen up on the ridge, which is pretty smart. He probably should move them up closer. I don't think he does, but yeah, I do notice that he's got a rifleman over there, so I'm not gonna get too close to him, but I also don't want him moving up other troops. So now let's take a look over here. We still have our howitzer moving to set up, but we're going to see our young guard in action right about now. I see his cavalry coming, so I'm going to get as close as possible, and I could tell, well, I'm going to get in a square, which is a good defense, but I could tell he was probably a new opponent just because he wasn't doing much movement in the beginning of the game, but I just wasn't sure until eventually. And I'm going to decimate his cavalry here. He doesn't have much of a chance. As you can see, my young guard's only taken 3 casualties so far, so they're doing really good. And his dragoons just get decimated. They don't even have much of a chance. And as you can see here, sorry, trying to get the camera set up. As you can see, he's going to charge in with his other cavalry, his light dragoons. I don't know what he's going to do. I think maybe try and go around my young guard, but my young guard's going to chase after him, and hopefully I'll get some shots off onto him. Just fast forward. So as you can see, he's going to try and get around my flank. I get off a few shots at him, and so we're right about here where he's going to charge at my general. It's a pretty good move by him, I have to say, but he doesn't realize that I do have my Fusiliers over here, but I also don't really realize that his troops are going to take on my general until last second, so I take my general and try and get him away last second, and I form a square there. Believe there's a little bit of lag, and so that affected me. This old guard, I probably shouldn't have formed a square because they are going to shoot some of my soldiers, I think. But I do take out his light dragoons pretty easily. And so, yeah. He did take out some of my general's bodyguard, but basically it wasn't very smart to charge with his cavalry that early in the battle, especially since he hasn't really developed any of his soldiers moving up the field at all. I basically have the middle of the field taken, and he doesn't have much going on for him right now since I decimated his cavalry. And I still have one cavalry unit over there, one more lancer unit. Or no, I have another, I believe I have my dragoons over here. No, my lancers. What cavalry unit is this? Yeah, those are my dragoons over there. So he's got more dragoons in the woods over here, more light dragoons along with his rifles. They're not in combat yet, as you can tell. And I am going to set up my howitzer and see if he notices where I'm aiming the howitzers. I'm also going to move the chasseurs over here so that they will be lined up protecting the howitzers just in case he does try and flank me somehow. And I also don't want him set up behind because I don't want to start shooting my own troops. But as you can see, he does have troop movement trying to move to the middle of the field. And yeah, I just took out 8 of his dragoons, as you can tell. So we're just gonna watch this go on for now until we're just a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, but you know. So he's gonna move his soldiers, and as you can see, I just took off another shot at him, and I took out quite a few soldiers here. He should have definitely relocated his dragoons and just ran them away, or charged. I wouldn't have charged just because I had units protecting my artillery, which was pretty smart of me. But any decent opponent's gonna protect their artillery. The computers in this game won't protect their artillery though. I eventually take notice that he's gonna have 3 linemen moving up the field here, and so I'm gonna do something about it, I believe, in just a moment. But yeah, he does charge with his cavalry, and I don't even form a square here because I just know that he's gonna get decimated. So yeah, we're just gonna watch his soldiers. Ooh, that one just bit the dust right there. But yeah, artillery overhead, shots ringing off. He does manage to meet my howitzer unit, and does take out like 10 of them, which is pretty decent. But they got they ranked up for that, which was good and nice. So yeah, I didn't really remember him attacking that side, but now we're gonna move over here. He's got his units over here, and I'm gonna take off some shots at him because I'm on the ridge, and I'm just badass like that. Took out like 3 of his soldiers, not much. So he's gonna take off some shots, and we're just gonna watch a couple of his soldiers die here. As you can see, he's got more of his troops lining up. He's kind of off angle here. Like, I don't know what those guys are doing. I would have lined them up like across facing my soldiers more. And I am demoralized here because I'm outnumbered, frankly, and that's never good. I'm gonna move up my riflemen though, or I don't know if these are my riflemen, but I'm gonna flank them. Yeah, these are my elites here. And I'm gonna flank him and get off a few shots at his light foot. And I am taking pretty heavy casualties on that ridge, so I need to do something about it. I am going to move up my Young Guard elites and shoot these riflemen because I do notice they're coming up, and I'm gonna reform my Swiss foot because I'm getting shot up and I don't want to be flanked by his riflemen, which I don't know why he's charging the riflemen. I would have done something different, like at least charge some line infantry or something. But yeah, he's gonna flank me, or attempt to flank me here, and I'm gonna have my Fusiliers pull up. So yeah, we're just gonna watch this. We'll watch it up close. As you can see, his units are doing pretty good, but I do have mine, you can barely hear me, I do have my 6, I'm not even gonna say, I can't even remember their name, man. I have my elites shooting at these Lightfoot, which are also taking out their own soldiers, you notice. Most of their own soldiers. I am getting shot up pretty bad, too, but he's also shooting his own soldiers, which isn't good, and his riflemen aren't looking too well. Over here, I'm holding the line pretty better, a little bit better, just because they're all masked up. Over here, it's kind of like chaotic, but I'm gonna push them back, as you can see, and this demoralizes them as they're losing ground. And then the riflemen decided to run away like little cowards. Not really. They shouldn't have even attacked in the first place. I'm gonna line up my soldiers here and take out his one Lightfoot here that are just walking nonchalantly. Over here, he's got artillery that are lining up, and I'm gonna be firing both my artillery at them, and as you can see, they're getting rocketed pretty bad. He's gonna charge his soldiers up. I don't have them like my troops, my young guard formed too well, but what am I gonna do here? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on shooting these guys, these Lightfoot with my elites, and they don't have much of a chance, especially because they're fighting elites and they're already heavily depleted. They've lost a lot of soldiers, and I'm gonna shoot them from behind here with my young guard. I didn't show this, but my cavalry did come up from the rear, helping my Fusilier line, and I'm gonna turn off the fire just so they don't shoot my cavalry in just a second. But yeah, I do rout his men pretty badly over here. And right, so he's not looking too well in this battle right now. He still has a pretty good line, but I've routed a lot of his troops so far. And I'm not going to follow his soldiers. Instead, I'm going to try and take out his howitzer, 5-inch is that 5-inch? 5-pound, I don't know. 5-inch howitzer, which aren't really doing anything. I think he forgot about them. He's expecting his soldiers to win that battle over there. I'm going to take them out pretty easily. As you can see, they don't stand a chance compared to like cavalry or even infantry. And so we'll see what he's gonna do over here. Basically, he's got to make some movements. Otherwise, he's just gonna be pounded by my artillery, since I believe he's out of artillery now. So I could just simply keep on pounding his soldiers with my artillery if he doesn't do anything. He's got some soldiers back here that didn't completely rout, but this is his horse artillery, which he doesn't put back on command of his guns, which it wouldn't really make much of a difference, 6 of them. But yeah, he's gonna try and reform on his left flank, which is my right, and I still have my Swiss foot and my young guard. Basically, my elites are holding this up pretty well. And let's see what unit this is. Fusiliers. What are Fusiliers again? They are my linemen, right? So we got another elite here. I believe young guard is elite. I'm not sure. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. It has to be. They wouldn't be called guard if they weren't elite. So he's gonna bring up 3 of his fencibles, which are footmen, foot soldiers, and try and flank me on my left, and bring up 1 of his foot to... Basically, he's just going to bring up the rest of it, whatever he has left, on my right, which is 1 elite and like 3 linemen, I believe. So I'm going to reform, and I still have my cavalry over here, which could do something. I'm going to reform my chasseurs over here and do something. I think I'm going to try and flank them and take them out. Yeah. As you can see, some of his soldiers are getting shot, and they're now being pounded by my artillery. Yeah, that's the artillery. And so, basically, this is what I want to focus on mostly over here. He's going to basically try and overwhelm me with manpower, but he's running into a giant trap because I got him, frankly, outgunned since he's just charging. And they're just running into a slaughterhouse. And look at this. These Highland Foot are badass, but they are not going to have any effect. His troops are just getting demoralized. Eventually he does catch up. I'm not able to shoot all of them, but I do manage to take out his first couple units, I believe. and I keep on pounding them from all three sides. My Swiss foot are still shooting over here. And his soldiers are just going to retreat. They don't stand much of a chance over here. And over here is two of his units that were going to flank on my right, which would have been bad, but I decided to take them out with my my soldiers and also my horsemen. So battle's basically over, and he's fought well for a newbie. I understand like what he was trying to do here, but it just didn't really work out. It was basically a last stand, last show of force, and we're just gonna watch them rout. So I only lost 522 soldiers, and he lost 15,000 or 1,564. I believe this is one of his first battles, as he said afterwards, so good job to my opponent, Jack Dog Bob. I appreciate you playing me, and it was fun, and not bad for one of your first games. He definitely has potential. So, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys. Bye.
There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.